Yeah, my name is Ruhabuoba Sunday. Most people know me as Arthur the Vaccine. Arthur is not my name. I even don't know how I got it, but I have it. And most people call me that. How I came up with the idea of starting a side hustle as well as keeping my radio job is sometime back in 2015, I was working on radio. And as I was working on radio, I used to rent a small house of about 90,000. I had a girlfriend who did not want to use the outside latrines because the latrines were outside. She preferred that we had a room that probably was self-contained. Now, in my bid, I wanted to increase my incomes, but I couldn't tell my bosses to increase my salary because that was a hard question. Now, in my head, I'm like, what can I do to increase my incomes? So I looked at radio. We had a radio station. I said, can I use the radio station to make money? So I moved to Wonderworld, talked to the managers, told them, I work with the radio station. We can be able to organize an event here. I'll get free adverts and we shall do events. They said, okay, if you can do that, please let's come up with a concept. Because the place was housing kids event, I came up with a kids festival. My first event was called the Kiddos Fun Festival, which I did. And yes, people turned up, we made quite some good money. So when I did the event, I maintained my radio job, radio helped me, and then I also did the event. When I did the event, now the event was the father of the new business venture that I now went into. At the event, I had a service provider who was supposed to supply me with equipment. He was supposed to give me cartoon characters, mascots. When I paid my money to this person didn't give me the right customer care I wanted. They gave me equipment, but they didn't give me anybody to help me wear it and do other things. And then I got annoyed. I said, okay, so these guys want to give me just costumes at this price, and they won't even do that. So after the event, I said I will venture into this business. So over the years, the business has grown to move from just entertaining kids to becoming now a fun and interactive entertainment business that does corporate team buildings, corporate fun days, and as well as events on a large scale. The kind of advice I would give to anybody who's in employment but would want to start a side hustle, I'll share this from experience. Having a job and a side business is not an easy thing. You'll wake up and say, I'm going to do this and it will run the way you anticipate. There are so many hurdles you don't know. Okay? Now, this is what I would advise is before you quit your job, figure out what you want to do. Okay? Some people figure out, some people it's because of the need. Me, I didn't figure out in the start. What I'm doing right now and what I thought earlier are not things I really anticipated. But I kept my job and also started the side hustle. But the most important thing is make sure you prioritize and give everything its required time. For example, I will tell you, when it comes to being on radio and I'm doing my job on radio, I make sure I'm there on time because I've been working on radio for the past 7 years. I've been doing my business for the past 5 years. So how do I balance the work of my bosses and also do my job? Is I give each and everything priority. I know what my bosses want. There are KPIs. You need to achieve them. Give them your all. Okay? And then when it also comes to the side hustle, know how to balance these two. When you feel like probably these two things are now moving together and then probably one of them is really now becoming your big breadwinner, then you can choose to quit. For now, the Vector Events business and radio are not fighting each other in a way. I work on radio from 10 p.m. to midnight. I have the entire whole day and all the weekends to do my events business. So there is no way these two get to fight each other. And then I also make sure that whatever the radio requires, I provide. I'm there on time, I do the prep and give the right content to the listeners. When I also come to my events business, I give it time and attention. That's basically what I would want to tell anybody who wants to do a side hustle and having a job on the other side. Most people will ask, how do I start a side hustle? I don't have capital, I don't have nothing. Let me give you a scenario. When I was starting this business, I didn't have capital, I didn't have money. What I had was a need to get a better house. I just wanted to find a room of 150,000 that had a toilet inside. Okay? That's what I wanted to do. And the other thing I had was an idea. So what my job presented me with is it presented me with the ability to be able to talk to a venue which I told I can do this and do this. You get my point? I didn't have money in the start. What I had was an idea. So when I went to do this event, I want to tell you, I had no money. I literally had no money. The capital I had was basically the social capital. It's what I used. Because when I went to Wonderworld, it was a talk. Okay? When I went back to radio to ask for adverts, it was a talk. When I invited people to perform, it was a talk. Okay? When I invited even the guys who even did my artwork, it was a talk to friends. Basically, what helped me do my first event was a network. That event didn't make me money. It was a disaster. It was a loss. Okay? But despite the fact that it was a loss, I didn't lose hope. I said I will continue. But like I told you, I got disappointed with the service provider who gave me fake stuff. I said, if this person is charging me 130 for this cartoon, can't I have my own cartoon and I also hire it out and I get 130 to pay the rent of the house I want? So I didn't have the money to start. What did I do? I had to sacrifice salary at radio, okay, to make sure I do my first investment. Because I wanted to buy the cartoon character, the one I told you, that somebody had given me when it was in the wrong position, in the wrong, was 500,000. I even didn't know how to get it from China. I didn't know where to buy it. You get? I talked to a few people, kept gathering information. After that whole process of finding out that thing, it took me about 8 months. Then finally, one of my other bosses at Galaxy FM, I talked to him. He told me I can help you bring in this thing because for me I know how to ship abroad. It was my first time to understand online shopping, buying something from eBay. So I brought this thing in. I even didn't know who was going to be my customer. I didn't know who was going to even hire it from me. The next thing I did is I printed 500 business cards. 500 business cards cost about 50,000 Uganda shillings. You can't tell me you don't have 50,000 Uganda shillings. Out of sacrifice. Made the business cards, came up with the idea. It took me the next, I think, 4 months with no gig. I was giving out business cards everywhere. But I was also obsessed with this idea of trying to find out what to do. My first gig was 30K. Somebody called me and told me, hey, I'm seeing a card here. You entertain people on parties. Can you please come through and do this for me? I asked him, what is your budget? He told me 30K. I said, it is fine. Because me, what I cared for was my first job. Got a border, went to China in a person's home. You know what they wanted? They wanted me to put on the mascot, okay, and dance for the kids. You get my point? I danced like for 2 hours. I was sweaty in the costume. But when I did it, I picked up another customer. Because I was passionate about it, I had to put my name, my radio name on the side. I knew this was a hustle. When I picked on my next customer, that was the game changer. This person calls me, tells me, please, I want you to do what you did for the other guys. Now, I even didn't know how much to charge. They asked me, how much do you charge? I said, Goina Mega. This dude says, I'll give you 150. I said, hey, hold on. I'm looking for rent of 150. This dude is giving it to me in one go. I said, oh wow. So I went to the venue. But when I went to the venue, I realized there were other things now other service providers had brought. When I saw these things, they gave me an idea of like, okay, hold on. I can grow this thing to this. I can also own this and this. So I kept doing that and saving money and accumulating money. When I saved some money, my salary, the money I was making from the small gigs, I bought my first equip. It was called a trampoline. I think I bought it at 1 million shillings. and I also bought a small old bouncing castle from some guy at 1.5. Yeah, then I said, okay, now let me keep growing. And from that, for the past 4 years, we've been growing at a steady progress, and the business has transformed from just being a small kids entertainment company to now a company that provides team building to companies, to fun days, organizing and making sure we coordinate everything, the logistics, venue booking, to a huge fun day company, to other events focusing on fun and interactive entertainment. So that has been the journey. Despite the fact that I've talked about radio and the side business, I also did comedy. In fact, you people know comedy. I also did the magic. I also practiced the magic. Now, how does this come about? Comedy, I was doing radio. A friend of mine introduces me to comedy. I'm not naturally a funny guy.
No, you don't argue. She speaks in a way I've never seen. She told me, wait, told her, don't you see?
But I learned how to be funny. Because me in my head, I know whatever is in this world that is being done can be learned. You want to be a doctor, you can learn. You want to code, you can learn. You want to do videography, you can learn. You want to be a businessman, you can learn. So I said I will learn. I hung around comedians for quite some time. And in the process, I learned how to write a joke, how to come up with a punchline. Okay, because that's what is the issue. And I found my luck when I really got to associate with people who are in that business. I met the Dolly Wondos, Salvador's, Alex Mahati, a guy called Jonah Cheyo, and I was given a platform. Okay, and I kept telling the jokes. And somehow I got paid. I was doing my radio job, I was doing comedy, and then later I had a side hustle as well. So I probably had 3 sources of income. Till when time came and I felt like comedy wasn't my thing. I didn't feel like I was funny enough. I didn't see myself breaking through. I didn't see myself succeeding in this venture, and I said, okay, some things failed. This one has failed. I moved on, which is one thing I would want to tell everyone. There are so many of us doing things that are not really working out. When something fails and you feel like it doesn't work, and people are giving you feedback of like you're not funny, don't cry about it, don't be offensive. Probably this is what they are telling you of figure out and do something else. So I left comedy and I stopped doing it, and I concentrated on things where people were telling me this is why you are good at. My message to bosses out there is you can be a boss to people, but people are not robots. People evolve every day. People have dreams. People aspire to be better. People aspire to achieve. So if you don't let them exercise some things, they will use your office internet to search for those things. I'm very lucky I've worked with bosses who are a bit rimlow, who gave us chance and they could remind us to really find ways of making ourselves better. Those are the people who employed me at Galaxy FM. Like, they have this approach of like, you're here in the media, but exploit opportunities that come with this. And it has been a good thing. And it's for that reason that probably I still maintain the job and I still do my side hustle. And I'll definitely tell you, my bosses have been there to support me in all angles. But your boss will only support you if you do your job perfectly well. But I would advise the bosses, because every boss would want somebody to give them 100%. Yeah? You can never stop an employee from doing what they want to do outside your job. The only thing you can do is support them. But then I also want to ask fellow employees like me that these guys who start businesses, they put in a lot of effort and money. Just don't wake up and say, you know what, I'm here at the job and I want to do my side hustle. Then you do your boss's work like it is bogus. This guy is paying his salary. Actually, bosses go through a lot. In my experience of running this business, I've learned that our bosses know a lot of things and they go through a lot of things that we don't know. So when you have a job, respect your job. Give it time. Give your boss results. Okay? If you feel like you can't mix the two, choose one. Either choose to have a career at your place of work or choose to do a side hustle. But if you feel like the two can't mix, please do one. I was lucky the job I do requires me to work for 4 days for 2 hours. I can do a side hustle, try a lot of things, comedy, magic, this, entertaining this, organizing this, selling things, importing this. I've even tried importing. And then it was a disaster. But where you have a job that does not allow you to have a lot of time to exercise all this crap, concentrate on your job. You can also still be successful with the career. You can be a good marketing manager. You can be a good administrator, an IT strategist. You can be a good communicator. You can be big still in employment. You can still be big at your place of work. Everyone is not cut out for business. No, not everyone. Some people are supposed to work with other people. Some people are supposed to work under other people. So the earlier you discover yourself, the better. You can grow in the career and leave the side hustle thing on the side, because I will tell you, it is also not an easy thing that you'll wake up and do things and then they will just work out. Sometimes you don't choose what you do. What you do chooses you. Okay? I work with an urban youth radio station, and you're given an opportunity to talk about relationships and love and sex. And you do it and everyone is like, you're good at this. But your head tells you this is not what you want to do. You don't dig it. Do you shun it away? Do you chase it away? But both these two things I can do. And I will tell you one thing. A person does not have one single ability. People have very many abilities. Okay? You can be a great speaker and as well as a great man. You can be a great administrator at a workplace, but still do other things outside that scope, because a human being is not limited to one ability. A human being has so many abilities. Okay? Have a radio voice. It's a gift. When I sit to talk, I can listen and empathize with people of the radio show. It's a gift. Can I do it? Yes. Are my employers happy? Yes. Do I hit my KPIs? Yes.
Lose interest.
But then I have another interest. Okay? I'd want to build an empire sometime to come. Can I do that? Yes. Can I do both? Yes. Okay? You have time for them? Yes, I do. And we have the ability to multitask and do things. You get? Sometimes you're not tied up to one area. This is what you're going to do forever and ever. No. But as you grow, you begin prioritizing things. You begin saying, this is important, this is not. I want to succeed here. I love this, I don't love this. So that's how you move on with life. Why did I choose Valentine Tennis? You see, when we were beginning to do businesses on the side, we face a lot of challenges. Some of these things you never know till when you meet them. Naming a business name is one huge thing professional bodies do. There are companies they hire to find out a name. Companies they hire to find out slogans. Okay? So some of us find names based on what we feel at the moment. Okay? Now, me, what I wanted was a word that was easy for anyone to remember. A vector is a simple, easy. But if you had asked me later to name my business, I wouldn't have named it vector. Okay? I would have given it a name that reflects exactly what I do. Okay? I would have made this name Coil, at least a language that is locally within here. So that even if you're listening, even if I told you the name, it's easier for you to pick up. But these are lessons you pick up along the way. Okay? You know, as you start a side hustle, you don't know a lot of things. You begin figuring out a lot of things. You begin learning, like you're doing your MBA on ground. A lot of things are coming up your way. This. So I chose the name not because there was a lot of thinking, a lot of logic about it. No, I just woke up, called it Vector Events, and then that's it. Many of us are doing jobs we don't love, but because it is what is available. It's what is available for you, and somebody is doing this. And then years later they tell you, you know what? I don't think this is for me. Not for the money, but this is not for me. Okay? So sometimes most of us are doing things because this is what is available on the plate. Don't ask for pizza you don't have. The things I feel right now, I may not say. A lot of people are feeling them. A lot of people are lost. People are lost between what they want to do. It's not me alone. Many of us. Some people haven't even figured out what they want to do. You get my point? Some people haven't. They are trying a lot of things. You are grown up and you're still trying to figure out. It's not me alone. There are so many people who are doing things for survival. Like, it's not me alone. There are so many people. So many. And I've come to believe that I'm not alone in the world. We are many. Like me sharing my story of how confused I am is not a problem. We all can't be that straight. Just because we live in a social media age where everything looks straight. Somebody comes to an interview, shows you how they knew this thing from the word ago. Actually, let me tell you, I even don't know where I'm headed sometimes. Yes, I have a plan, I have a vision. I know I want to go. But sometimes what you're predicting is not what exactly it is. COVID has just showed us that. We all thought something else. And things are different. But then there are tools I move with. I move with vision. I move with persistence. And I move with direction. At this time, I wouldn't want to try a lot of other things. I've invested a lot of my time, effort, and money in a certain area. I want to become good at that area. I want to become good in that area because I know it won't happen in 1 week. It's a journey. The vision is longer. It's much more further. It's what I want to be later. And I've tested myself because I've tried a lot of things like I've told you. I've even tried motivational speaking. I've been an MC on weddings before. I've been a comedian. I've done magic shows for people. I've tried kusubula. I've done events. At this time I feel like, let me settle here. This is why I feel peace and freedom. You're free to try as many things as possible, make mistakes as possible. Figure yourself out. This is it. You get. The only problem would be you reaching a very old age and you still haven't figured out. Some people are lucky they've figured out their journey early enough. Somebody says, me, I'm a farmer, and they've been doing farming for the last 30 years. Some people have chosen to be in media and they've been in the media and they have grown in that sector. Some people have chosen to be good accountants. For 25 years, 30 years they're practicing accounting and they're good at accounting in that area. The earlier you figure yourself out, the better. If you feel like you have more opportunities to search yourself and figure out what you want, go ahead. You get. Abamu to channel, abamu ba channel, abamu baabula. Some people are lost. I would want to find a school that helps people find themselves early. The years I've been working and the time I've spent figuring out stuff has been too much. If I had somebody help me figure that out early enough, I wouldn't be doing things for survival. I'll be doing things I'm good at and things I love. And most of us have not had the opportunity to figure ourselves out, and nobody is here to help us. We are in wrong places, chasing wrong things that we even don't care about, but because we want to survive. Some people are good entrepreneurs, but they're in wrong positions. Some people are supposed to be employees, who would grow in career but they are in the wrong places. Some people are manufacturers, some people are innovators, they are in wrong places. The earlier they help you figure out yourself, the better. And nobody is giving us the career guidance I was given in high school and at campus was so bogus. People talked a lot of gibberish that even didn't apply to my life. You get my point? So, but at whatever time you figure out yourself, but if somebody helps me, if I have the capacity, I would just want to help people figure out what they want to do and guide people. Like, I wish I had the time and the capacity to do that. I would do that. I think it's one thing I've lacked. It's one thing I didn't have. It's one thing I believe if people found out, it would really change a lot of lives and make us better.